Hi everyone! I'm about to show you how to separate for the double cuff in this mitt. Okay, so once you've knit the body, you're going to knit into the front and back of every single one of these stitches. Into the front and into the back. So for each stitch you're getting double on the other side. And continue all the way around. Since we were doing knit front and backs, you'll see that there's a little purl bump and then a flat and then a purl bump every other stitch. That's from doing the knit front and back. So it'll be a really easy reminder of which stitch you're going to slide onto the front of a needle and onto the back of a needle. What I'm talking about is, in order to get a seamless look in this mitt, you're actually going to now divide your stitches onto two different needles, the one that you're currently working on, and then a different one that's either the same size as what you're working on to get your gauge, or smaller. I've chosen to go smaller. I'm doing it on a 1, where this is knit on a 3, and I've just found that it's easier. And even if you're doing this on double points, I really recommend that you separate them either on 2 circular needles or 1 circular needle like you're going to do magic loop, just because it's going to act more as a stitch holder and it'll be more out of your way, whereas if you have 2 sets of double points, I think they might get tricky or fall out. You're going to pull out your back needle like you're going to knit these front stitches, and you're going to hold that needle to the back away from you. Then you're going to hold your new needle, which is smaller or the same size, in the front. And you're going to slip every stitch that does not have the purl bump onto the smaller needle. So the first stitch does not have a purl bump, so we're going to slip it onto the smaller needle. There's one. The next stitch I'm going to slip using the bigger needle. Okay, the next one does not have a purl bump, so I'm going to use the smaller needle. Next one does, so it's the bigger needle in the back. So you're going to do every other stitch on the front and every other stitch on the back. It may help to have these at 2 different angles. My front one has been a little bit higher than the back, so that I can scoop the front and then scoop the back. You may also need to hold the back stitch a little bit. Continue until the end of the row. Okay, so I have half the stitches on the front needle and then half the stitches on the back needle. The back needle is the one I'm going to continue working on when I'm done. Then you want to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side, but just like magic loop, remember you want to keep these separate. So you're going to push this guy back onto your stitches, and because they were all knit front and back, it may be a little tight. Still see they have purl bumps and flat ones. You're going to take out both of these needles and bring them around just like you're going to do magic loop, and do the same as you did before. You're going to put the flat ones onto the front needle or the smaller needle, and then the ones with the purl bumps on the back needle. There's the flats. Okay, so all the stitches are now distributed perfectly, and you can see the darker blue cable. This guy here is the inner cuff, and that's the one that you're going to start working on first. Then you'll let just this other cable with your stitches, just leave it dangling, hold on, they won't fall out unless I guess you're really being mean about your knitting. This may seem fiddly and like it takes a long time, but in the end there's no seaming and all you have to do is reattach the yarn to work the outer cuff. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask, otherwise I'll see you soon.